Hi, I'm really excited about what I have to share with you today. I'm so excited that I'm actually going to share my screen, turn off my video so you can focus right on the tool that we've prepared for you. Before I do that, though, I wanted to make sure you understand the purpose of this tool. The purpose of this tool is to give you a place that you can play around with your policy's cash values and loanable values and determine what you want to use them for and what their purposes are. And then also, if you're thinking about taking a loan, there's a place where you can see how much interest would be charged on that loan. How much do you want to pay back that loan? Play with different loan repayment numbers to determine what works best for you. And then there's also a place where you can get some links to connect further with us or get more resources to help you. But I should also say what this tool is not. This tool is not a replacement for having a conversation with your professional, Brandon or me, about the decisions that you're making. Actually, what this tool is meant to do is give you a place where you can play around with it, do some thinking in advance, put together some rough drafts, that kind of thing. And then when you have a conversation with us, you'll feel more prepared, better able to, know what questions you want to ask, what concerns you have, all those kind of things. So, this tool is not meant to tell you what decisions to make, have you take more loans or less loans, use your policy more often or less often. It's meant to be a place to help you prepare for conversations to then decide when you want to take a loan, when to not take a loan, how much should be left and remaining in the policy to ensure it doesn't lapse, all those kind of things. So don't look at this as the end all be all, but a helpful tool to use for future connection with us, if that makes sense. Okay, now I'm going to turn off my video and share my screen so you can focus on the tool that we're going to use. Okay, here's the tool, and let me stop my video so you can focus right on the tool itself. Now, when you open this up, you'll notice that it's view only, and all you have to do is go here to File and then make a copy. If you have a Google Drive account or a Gmail address, you're signed in to Google, you can click make a copy here and save it as a Google spreadsheet that you're able to use. If you have a Google account, we highly recommend that because then you're going to have a share button here and you can share what you've done with us if you ever want to. The other thing you can do is download. You can download it as an Excel document, all these different types here, CSV, whatever you might want to use. So then you can save it to your desktop or, wherever you save your files. And you could always share it with us, like email it as an attachment or something. But what's awesome about if you make a copy, save it to your drive, and then you click share, is that then if we're on a call together, we can both see the same thing. We can both make changes, all that kind of thing. But for now, this version is going to be view only so that everybody has access to the same tool. You can't make any changes or anything like that. What I'm actually going to do is go ahead and make a copy and save it to my drive so that I can make some changes as we're going through it together. Now, you'll notice there's different tabs here at the bottom, the instructions, the Bank on Yourself budget, the Bank on Yourself loans, and then client tools. These instructions really just go over the Bank on Yourself budget and how to use that. The loans have their own instructions there, and the tools are really just a set of links for you to use. Now, this this field here will actually link to the video you're watching right now. I'm creating it, so that's why there's not a link there yet. Um, but we also want to make sure you know that there's likely imperfections and improvements we can make to this. We would love to hear from you, your feedback on this, something you'd like to see included in this tool, and also save the link so that when we do make changes based on your feedback or others' feedback, you can get those changes too. Okay, now the Bank on Yourself budget and the instructions are what I want to go over first. What I'm actually going to do, and you might do this too, have your instructions, like do a split screen, or if you have multiple screens the first time you do this, kind of a little hack here, put your instructions on one side of your screen and then your budget on the other side so that you can go through this. Now you'll notice the first step, you're actually going to just take out a scratch piece of paper, or if you have a journal or something, and you're just going to make a list of what you're thinking about using your policies cash values for. Maybe some of these things that you see on your screen right now, like a travel fund, paying your taxes, buying a new car, having an emergency fund, retirement funds, that kind of thing might be on your list, but there could be other things besides these. And I want you, before you even look at your policy values, maybe even close these documents, close your laptop, right? Or computer, whatever, and make a list. Just dream a little bit, make sure you're clear on what you want your policies cash values to be used for. If you have a significant other or someone that you share finances with, include them in that conversation. Okay, then step 2 is to start at the top of column A and list your policy's nicknames. So I'm going to pretend like I'm doing this for us. I'll just do like Brandon's policy, first policy, we'll call it that. And then Amanda's first policy, and then I'll do Brandon's second policy. And you could, if you wanted to, put the last 4 digits of the certificate number there or anything like that. And you can include any notes here, right? We have this as our quote unquote business policy, for example. And then you're going to log into your online, or no, you're not going to log in yet. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So it's column A. Then column A, you're going to list your policies. And then the next part is that you're going to go through these categories and you're going to update them with the list that you made in step 1 to, your planned uses. So one example is that we don't have debt payoff or a health insurance deductible anymore. So I'm going to delete those, but we do pay our property taxes and our homeowners insurance through this. And then I'm also going to do our Christmas fund, right? You can do that kind of thing too. And you can rearrange them, right? Like taxes isn't pretty important. So I'm going to actually move that down and then move this one down here and then move this one up here, right? And you can kind of play around with it, keep all the colors the same, whatever you want to do. And then so you do all these things, medium and then long-term funds, and prioritize them in your order. Then you're going to go to step 4, where you update column B to set your goals for those planned uses. Think, how much do you need or want and by when? So I just moved taxes. I'm going to move that up here. And then I'm going to put 5,000. It's May 1st, but maybe by July 1st if I'm doing a vacation. Then escrow, I know I need 2 different, or actually 3 different amounts, right? I need a certain amount. I don't even remember. Let's call it 6,000 by July 15 and December 15 and 1,200 by March 13th. And you can, if you're not familiar with Google things here, you can even wrap your text so that you make sure you can see everything. Right. And then here I might say 600 by December 25th. Or if I do my shopping a couple weeks early, I'm going to put in like the 1st or something like that. And you just go through, create your goals for each thing, going down here. And then you start at the top of column C and you enter in the current date. And then you look up your policy values and fill those in for each. So let's just pretend we've got 20,000 here, 20,000 here, and then 50,000 here. Those aren't real numbers, obviously. I'm just making something up. And we just paid taxes. So I know we've got a long time, but what I love about these large expenses within 1 year and having the goal and the deadline is now I can take 4,000, divide by the 11 months that I have left to save up for that, 10 months. let's call it 10 months, and I'll put 400 there, right? Because I need 400. I've got 10 months. I can do 400 a month each time we make a premium payment or something like that. On the travel fund, I need that pretty soon. So I'm going to put 5,000 there. The escrow, I'm going to need that 6,000 pretty soon. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. The Christmas fund, it's $50 a month. We're already 5 months into the year. So I'm going to do, what is that? 250 there. And then let's say we're saving up for a new car. I'm just going to put some random numbers in here so you can see how it works. Emergency fund, we have a pretty big swing in our income. So I'm going to put a pretty big number there, not that big for us. We do want to get into some real estate. So I'm going to put a pretty big number there too. Our son's only 3 years old, so I'm not too concerned. And then let's say I'm going to set aside a little bit for retirement. Now, you might notice what I just did there. I put 9,000 here and my line number 8, row number 8 went negative. So what I need to do is actually reduce something to make sure it's back at 0. I put that here. As you go down, watch row 8 to see how close you are to 0. So just to make it simple, I'm going to go here. I'm going to do minus 650. You don't have to do these formulas. You can totally just use a calculator and calculate it on the side and then update it. But when you know that you're almost done when you're at 0. And I say that here, you're almost done, because I do want you to, after you've done this exercise, take a quick look at what you've done. How do you feel about it? Anything you want to go back and adjust? It's totally okay to be like, we don't really need 5,000 in a college fund yet. I'm going to make that just, let's say he's 3 years old. Let's do $1,000 per year, to get started. And now I've got $2,000 extra here. I want to make sure my retirement's really good. So I'm going to update this to 10,350, right? Like, because we have to make sure we're taking care of ourselves too. Like, you can make those kind of adjustments. And then you can think about, well, do I need to start the process for this policy, the policy loans I'm going to need in July, right? You can think that you can see like what's coming up. What do you need to be giving a heads up for to your professional or to our new sidekick? So you might look at the client tools to see if there's any that you want to use. And then what I want you to do is also set a date for when you're going to update your numbers again. Maybe you go ahead and come in here and you add, I'm going to do this on the first of the month. So you go and add July in there. And then you also put that on your calendar. Make sure you get a reminder that July 1st to update your numbers. One thing I like to do is update them. If my payment is on the 1st, I wait until like the 3rd or the 5th to make sure the system is updated before I go in and look at my new values, since I just made a payment. So you might think about something like that too. And then the instructions for when you come back the second time, you can pull this up again. And what you actually are going to do is just take the whole list, copy it, and then paste it here. You can do that with a keyboard shortcut, or if you do it this way, you can do edit, copy, and then when you're here, you can do edit, paste, and it'll ask you, it's telling you that you can do the shortcuts. And then what you can do is start at the top, update your loan values, see if there's anything you want to adjust in terms of your priorities, your goals, and update your budgeting going forward. So that's your Bank on Yourself budget. You can kind of see how this would be helpful in terms of now you can share this with your professional and being me or Brandon, and we can see here's what you're planning to do. We have a heads up that you're probably going to be taking policy loans pretty soon, all those kind of things. But wait, there's more. I'm going to go back to the view only one, or no, we'll stay on this one. So Bank on Yourself loans. This is an often requested tool that we're happy to be able to share with you. And what you can do is put in, so let's go back to that $5,000 travel fund that you're thinking about taking in July, or we were in the example here. So you can put in 5,000 here, and then you can change the orange cells. That's the only cells you're going to change. So you put in your loan amount and then how much you're thinking about repaying. So let's say 5,000 I can even do the math here. Divided by 12, I want to repay it in a year, right? You can put that in. You can see there's going to be a little bit more interest. So then you could bring it up to, let's say, 420. And it updates, all the things. So then you see, oh, I'm definitely done with it now in 11 months, and I'm ready for my next vacation to take that next 5,000, right? Since we do that every July. Or let's say we're over on the escrow and you just took a $6,000, right? And you need that back in 6 months. You can play with it to say, well, if I put in 1,000, then yeah, I'm gonna have 63. So maybe, an interest charge. So maybe I do 1,005 and then I'm covering the interest as well, right? Did I do my math right? I think so. Something maybe 1,006, right? Something along those lines to plan what you're gonna do. I'm gonna undo my changes because when you log in, you're gonna see the 50,000 and the 1,500. And one thing I find, let's say you are taking a big loan and you're like, well, $1,000, no, let's do, yeah, $1,000 fits into my budget right now. How long is it gonna take me to get to repay that 50,000? Let's say you're gonna do some real estate investing or something. Well, it's gonna take me 5.5 years. And so now you know that, and you can give yourself like, okay, am I good with tying up this 50,000 for real estate for the next 5.5 years? You can think strategically in those kind of ways. So play around with this. Again, just use the orange cells for putting in your loan that you would take and how long you'd want to repay or how much you have available to repay it to calculate your interest and how long it'll take. And then finally, the client tools. If you want to take a policy loan, you're going to complete this Google form that we have here. We're going to have a separate email that comes out to you in the coming weeks with the form here that you can check out if you're getting this when it's first published. But you could go ahead and start using that form. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you want to ever adjust your premiums or loan repayments, just send an email to sidekick@grandmaswealthwisdom.com and we can help walk you through that. One thing that a lot of people have found really helpful is adding another sheet here to add their funding strategy at a glance, the projections of what their policy is going to look like over time. And then they can update it with actually what's happening. If you'd like to do that, then share your spreadsheet to Sidekick, and Emma can add that to your sheet for you. Just make sure when you click share that you just put sidekick@grandmaswealthwisdom.com here. Um, I'm not going to actually do this, but you're going to make her an editor so that she can add to it. And you click send. I'm going to click cancel because she doesn't need this test one. um, and then if you want to schedule a call with Brandon or me, you can do that here. If you want to find out a little bit more about budgeting medium and long-term savings, maybe your policy isn't the only place you do that. Some of those, like say retirement funds might be in a 401k because you're getting a match at work, right? Or maybe you've done some real estate investing and you want to track the funds that are at work within a property and that kind of thing. We've got a YouTube video that goes over how we track our medium and long-term savings and what that looks like and what you might do if you have more than just policy cash values as part of your savings. And then you can find out more about our favorite budgeting software. If you're like, I need more than a spreadsheet, again, we've got a playlist here that goes over some of that. And then we made sure to put more places where you can connect with us, our phone number, our website, our YouTube, and Facebook, of course. Love to connect with you in any of those places. So that is the budget your cash values template. I hope you found this helpful. I'm going to turn on my camera again. And thank you so much for watching all the way to the end, for checking out this tool. I know it's going to be helpful, at least in helping you prepare for conversations with us. I hope you find it helpful in conversations with those that you make financial decisions with as well. And for some of you, it might make sense to share your spreadsheet with others, like a beneficiary, right? To know if you're not there to make the financial decisions about, say, paying your property taxes, right? They know where they can find the money and how much you have allocated to that. Maybe that's something you want to do, maybe not. Maybe you just share it with us and you let your beneficiaries and the people that you care about, that you want to know, and how to use money if you're not there to use it, right? You can connect them with us so that we can um, be there as a resource when and if that time comes, if that makes sense. I don't want to get all morbid or anything, but um, yeah, this spreadsheet, this tool can have a lot of different uses, is what I'm getting at. So if you find a different use for it than what I've talked about, please share that with us, and let us know how you're using it and what you find helpful or what you'd like to see as an improvement. And you'll see in the email, be sure you read the PS. If you want help setting up your spreadsheet or setting up a budgeting software like the one we share about in those YouTube links, please reach out to me. I'm the budgeting nerd and would love to help you with that. If you want to go beyond budgeting your policy cash values or you want help with budgeting your policy cash values, whichever one, would love to connect. So don't hesitate to reach out to me too. Okay, this video has gone on long enough. I'm going to sign off and I hope to talk to you soon. Take care.